Here are some helpful hints for you in completing this banking applications. During task 1, you're preparing a deposit slip just like you would at the bank in order to be able to deposit currency, which is dollar bills, coins, which are actual coins like dimes, nickels, and pennies. So you basically just have to do the total value for each of those. So you'll add up how much your 6 $5 bills are worth, your 12 $1 bills. And it might be a little challenging, but if you just click on the S and then hit enter. So for example, if my total value in bills was $35, that's not, but I'm just using it as an example. And then you come over to the S in cents and put 00 if there are no coins, which there would not be. This is not correct, it's just an example. And if there were coins, your total value of your quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies, you would put that amount to the right. So this decimal line is referring or taking the place of a decimal. After you put your total currency and coins, then you list any checks that you're going to deposit. So you have 2 checks here. List both of those. Come up with a subtotal, which is the value of everything above. Less cash received is the total in bills and or coins. The total value of that would go in right here. And less means subtract because you want to get that back. And so the subtotal minus the cash received would be the amount of your total deposit to the bank. In task 2, you're actually practicing writing a check. You should always use the current date, so whatever the date is when you're filling this in. And if it bumps down, just delete some out and then fill in after. And then review the parts of a check. Pay to the order is the person that gets to cash the check. The dollar amount the check is being written for, and the numerical value should match the dollar amount. A signature, again, should always be the same as the name pre-printed, so you can type it, but normally you would sign, or Maria Servos would sign. And then you have a memo here where you can make any notes that this was a bill to pay for Hartman Dental Clinic services. So just practicing writing a check. Then you have endorsements. Remember that endorsements are, you have to review the 3 different kinds that you have, but essentially based on what you're doing in the first scenario, you're going to the teller's window, so you're right there. So you could just do a simple endorsement where you just sign it, and because you're right there, it's not a big deal. You're giving it to the teller. However, in the second scenario, when you're mailing it or going to be depositing it later, you want to do a restrictive endorsement where you would sign it, put pay or for deposit only, and then put your checking account number so that it's restrictive and no one else can do anything else with it. Task 4, you're actually keeping a check register. You need to start out with the beginning balance, which is $492.16, and then you need to enter the following transactions. So the first one on 9/5, you would put the date 9/5, check number 442, and then you would make a note as to who the check is payable to. In this instance, it would be Lenny's Deli, the amount of the check being $102.06. And then you would subtract that from your beginning balance to get a total, running total. So anytime you have a check, you'll be subtracting and putting the new balance. If you have any kind of a deposit, you'll put it in this column and it would be an addition. And when you get to the end, it should be a running total of what is currently in your account after your last transaction on 9/15. That's the same thing you would do in a regular checkbook register. The reconciliation is the last piece. This essentially is when you get information from the bank and you get a statement. At whatever point in time that statement was cut and sent to you, it will have a balance. Anything that has happened in your checkbook since that statement was cut, you need to adjust when you're doing the reconciliation. So you have your balance. If there were any deposits from your check register up above that you had listed that took place after that statement was cut and sent, then you would need to add those. If there were any other fees or checks written that are not appearing on the statement, you would subtract those and you would get a new updated balance. You need to do the same thing for your checkbook register. You take the balance from your checkbook, you list any deposits that were shown on the statement that are not appearing in your checkbook. You come up with a subtotal. You also subtract any fees, whether it's any kind of service fee or interest earned or anything of that nature that might be a positive or a negative addition or subtraction to your account. that's on the bank statement, such as interest earned. So you would have to put plus $24.75 to get that updated in your checkbook. Once you get your new updated checkbook balance, both of them should match. The new statement balance should equal the new checkbook balance, and if so, you have successfully reconciled your checking account and your bank statement. So hopefully these hints will help you as you complete this assignment, and you'll be discussing it further in your collaborations. Thank you and good luck.